Somebody's trying to ring me now. Okay, I'm just going to leave you guys. It is Simon Clinic, Submission Clinic. Sorry, I have to get the phone. I'm just going to leave you to it. I shall talk to you in a second.
Okay. I can still see Sam Blake on the screen. Can you,
Yes, I
Marianne?
get it. Yes, and loads of other people as well.
Really? Okay, well, shall we we'll celebrate that we are not alone and move ahead anyway, shall we? How are
Grand,
you
work
today?
away. Yes,
I'm
fine,
loving
thank you. I hope you're well as well. So.
You've got a lot of books in the background.
I do, yes. I have a lot of books everywhere. There's
Brilliant. There's a whole tower there. I hope it's not going to fall over. But
oh well,
anyway.
it hasn't fallen over in a long time, so it won't now, Harley.
So tell me a little bit about your journey to becoming a writer. How much time do you spend?
I write a lot. I've always written some bit for years and years and years. I used to write short stories and send them off to various competitions, and I still do a little bit of that. It was always my ambition to be a published author, and
Okay.
So I was working because you have to pay the bills as well. And
Of
there,
course.
a few years ago, I decided that if I didn't do it, I wouldn't do it. And I could have taken early retirement. I could have worked. So I took the early retirement, and I decided I'd write. And I wrote. I have a lot of books written, really, but I sent off a novel to an open submission in for Poolbeg, and
Okay.
they picked it up. So they offered me a 3-book contract, and there's two published, and one with them. Hopefully, will be out later on in the year. And
Wonderful.
discovered that I love writing. It's just a passion. It's my safe place, or what would you call it? I just love it. But then I know nothing about publishing, and I was naive, one of those naive people who thought, a publisher picked you up and then they did everything. You just wrote the books and they published them. And I know I've done the writing challenges with the girls before, and they're just so brilliant. And Maria would be talking about what's this syndrome? She says imposter syndrome.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think to myself, that's not for me. I just love writing. There's no problem with it. But I found last year that Finding Hannah was put forward for the An Post Book Awards, and
Okay.
it was. I just froze. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, and it took me ages to figure out what was going on. It actually took me until this year to figure out what was going on, and I thought to myself, that's what Maria's talking about. That's the imposter syndrome. So I joined Writers Inc. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go from here, to be quite honest with you. I have this book that the bit I submitted is a standalone book. The other three were so I had set up a detective agency, or my characters had set up a detective agency, and the two were they're how they came to be set up, and then the next two cases. So I'm just at an I'm looking to feel my way forward, I suppose, more than anything else.
Okay, so the first book is Finding Hannah, yeah?
The first book was A Lie of Omission, and
okay.
the second one was Finding Hannah.
And well, I mean, for a start, let's just take a moment to celebrate the fact that you have achieved one of your ambitions. I mean, that's a wonderful thing to do, isn't it? And,
it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it's amazing to discover that, well, the people like them for one thing, but also that I like being published, and I like the writing, and I like being published. And I actually enjoy going out there and promoting them. But I found the disadvantage was I didn't know what to do, really. It was a totally new venture experience. I don't know what you call it. I worked in a hospital, and like that's so you did what was in front of you to do in those cases.
Can you say again?
When you're working in some place like a hospital,
Yeah.
You're what you have to do is very laid out.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, and so have you had the experience of meeting people you don't know who've read your work?
Oh, I have, yes.
Oh,
I
well,
had, and I loved it. It was
it's
great fun.
beauty then. Yeah.
Even the ones that had little bits of criticism or what have you, I didn't mind. I didn't mind that part of it because everyone is entitled to their
Okay. So
opinion.
you're at an interesting stage. You have a 3-book deal with Poolbeg, and we're talking about what the third book will be at this stage. Is that right?
Yeah, no, the third book is in with them.
Oh, right, okay.
The 3-book deal is fulfilled,
Okay.
but I don't know where to go from here.
Okay, and the 3 books. So Finding Hannah is the second of the 3.
The second one. The third one isn't out yet.
And they're all within the same genre, are they? And they feature
yes.
crossover of characters.
Yes, they're all the same characters.
Okay, and do you what kind of advice are you getting from Poolbeg? Are they asking you to continue writing these kinds of books, or are they looking for something to be a bit different?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Even to the extent where I asked them straight out, and I do not want to criticize Poolbeg because they've been brilliant, but I asked straight out, what happens here now that the 3 books are fulfilled?
Yeah.
I said, would you like to continue publishing me? And the answer I got was, we'll discuss it when the 3rd book is out. And that's no good to me because I mean I'm still writing. I have another one of that series done. I have a standalone novel completed and another standalone that I'm reading, that I'm writing, and I don't rightly know what to do. I don't know whether I should go out there and look for an agent or just stay as I am, or what the situation is.
So I mean, this is a slightly kind of different conversation to some of the other ones we've had, but I think it illustrates a lot of the dilemmas that, and how unsettling it can be as a writer. Because on one level, you've achieved what a lot of people on this call are also looking to achieve. You've got a publisher, you've got multiple books out there. But I imagine you've no idea how the books are doing. You don't know the sense of sales and all that kind of thing. And
no. I know they're still on their list, and I know they're still high on their list, but I don't know what that means.
Okay.
And so it is. That's the and it's. I didn't think it would affect me as much as it has, because I just thought I'd be gung ho with it, but I find not knowing unsettling.
Yes. Okay. I'm not surprised. I mean, my feeling is, and you've written a synopsis of a book called The Reckoning, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, my feeling is that you've got to think of yourself as a brand, right now, the readers that you've got, however many they may be, when they see your initials and a surname on the Poolbeg site or in a bookshop, they are expecting to pick up a book and read a crime novel within that genre, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, The Reckoning is a crime novel as such, or is crime? Yes, it is. There is crime. It is a crime novel.
So, I mean, obviously,
it's a bit about revenge too.
So within your genre, you can obviously move around a bit. Is the real issue about whether you do another series or whether you do standalones?
No, I'd like to do a mixture of both. I'd love to channel Sam and do a mixture of both, or maybe Nora Roberts. I could live with being Nora Roberts.
Pretty good. No, there's a vacancy, I'm sure, which is good.
I doubt if there is. But
I mean, I think it's a shame that you're not getting kind of the kind of advice that clearly you need at this stage about what where you are and how it's going, and you can't just stop and wait till the 3rd book's out, and it doesn't sound like you have. So
no, I haven't. I've been plowing ahead because I've always written. I've been writing for so many years, and So I write every day, and I've been doing so for years.
Okay. So I mean, the Reckoning, I think it's a strong synopsis. It's a, you know, a suspense thriller, but it's got elements of, you know, female empowerment, which I think is obviously a very good thing. Given, you know, the majority of the market is probably going to be female. And you know, I think it's interesting that you've got you know, there's a kind of unexpected thing in there, which is, you know, you're talking about kind of martial arts philosophy as well, aren't you?
Yes, I was interested in exploring how a woman in particular would react if she decided to not become a victim, to get out there and aim for revenge, but in the process to discover that maybe revenge was not what she wanted. And
Okay.
so I was now I have friends who do martial arts, and it's a very fascinating philosophy behind it. Even the whole Bushido warrior thing is just,
Yes.
it's fascinating.
And I think we're all, you know, we're always talking in this group about how, you know, crime is a very crowded genre, but you've got to be doing, so you've got to do something that's slightly different within it. And I think the fact that in this book, you know, I can imagine you writing articles and doing media about martial arts, because, you know, it's something that we all kind of think we know about from seeing the occasional something on a film, but actually, I guess you've had to do a fair bit of research to do this in an authentic way, haven't you?
Yes, I've done a lot of research, and no, that said, it was no bother to me. I just loved it. It was just, I was totally fascinated by the whole concept, and
Yeah.
even by the different types, say the types of Shaolin Quan, the type of Kung Fu it is,
Yeah.
and the difference between Chinese martial arts and Japanese martial arts, and even as far as Krav Maga, which is, you know, a sort of an amalgamation of so many different types of, now that the Krav Maga is completely martial. The arts are probably there, but the philosophy is just to survive, really. But it's a very, very interesting subject. And it is one of the things that can be used to empower women.
Okay, so I'm interested in whether there are other novels in this genre that have martial arts, and I don't know whether you've done any research on that front.
I haven't really. Well, in novels themselves.
Okay.
A lot of the martial arts stuff that's out there is male-based.
Okay.
And there was two where I got into it. One was about a CIA agent. I'm just trying to think of the names. And the other one was, what was it at all?
Yeah, I mean, I've just done a quick search here, and I think what's interesting is that there's a book called The Ninja by Eric van Lasparda. All of the books that I'm looking at, they look very male, and they're obviously more focused on the kind of Jackie Chan side of things, if you know, as that kind of action thrillers. And I think what's interesting to me is that you're bringing something kind of male and you know, testosterone fueled like that into this world. And I think that's interesting. But clearly, you know, and this was another question, was and with this book, we're leaving rural Ireland and we're going to Asia and beyond.
Well, she comes back to Ireland to fulfill her mission. Yes.
So, you know, what we're doing is, you know, you're combining kind of martial arts action, small town suspense, and female empowerment, all within this the crime narrative. So that sounds great to me, but it does it creates some challenges about kind of tone and consistency, because if you're not careful, the book is going to not only straddle these different kind of areas and genres, but the tone might do as well. So I'm interested in that, you know, you've got to clarify the tone at the beginning, really, and I suppose much of that will come from whose eyes we see the novel through. So you haven't finished this book yet, have you? This is an
I have, yes, I have it finished.
You have finished. So
I
can
have
you
it
tell me
finished,
a little
yes.
bit about who is it told in first person or multiple?
Third person.
Third person.
So Connie is the main character.
Yeah.
And basically, now I had a prologue that I was fond of, but as Sam pointed out to me, that maybe it wasn't the best way to start it. So I don't know what you got in the end, but I rejigged the first 3 chapters so that
Yep.
so that I brought in bits of what was in the prologue, and okay. I cut the chapters majorly. But what I'm trying to give the sense in the start is that she's come to fulfill a promise made to herself, but she's not sure, because of the work she's done, she's not sure how that fulfillment will work out. She arrives back home in Durfin, and then she discovers that her best friend is being blackmailed by the same guy who raped her. And this brings out all her warrior instincts. And she sets out to clear her friend's name and to see what the fates have in store for her from the point of view of dealing with this guy Landers.
Okay. And I'm talking about tone. Pace is obviously very important, and I mean, I'm guessing, you know, most books conform in some way to a kind of 3-act narrative. So in the 3rd act, is that when Connie returns to Ireland?
So it starts when she's returned to Ireland.
Okay.
And she goes to visit her friend. Her friend tells her about it, and so there's the pace picks up from just the end of chapter 3, where her friend tells her about it. They decide to go and do something about it. So she starts. They start with she starts with the meditation to get her mind and body in gear to actually do, and how she came to be where she is in her journey. And once that's over, it's very fast paced. It all happens over 3 days, I think. And okay. She has, so in the club, the guy sets her up to be injured, but because of her training, she uses her kung fu and once that has started, it just goes bang, 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 bang. At one level, and then at another level, there's quite a bit of her. Like, it's one day she says it's that she's a kung fu. She's a warrior. She's not an investigator, but she's investigating what's going on with this guy and with how he's sitting. And there's a whole thing about how he tricked Perry into putting her fingerprints on the dagger, and where the dagger has gone to, and how he can how they try to retrieve it. It brings in a socialite that's also involved in it, and actually I quite like it myself. I'd read too much. But it is, there's a bit of kung fu in it. There's a bit of meditation. There's a bit of justification of what she's doing, and also that she has changed her attitude, or her reasons, should I say, for dealing with him, because she comes to the conclusion he's not a worthy opponent, but because he's targeting her friend, she is going to fulfill her destiny.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's the message that we're going to be left with at the end, is it?
Yeah. Well, yes, that she fulfilled it, really. That, yeah, because she does have to fight him in the end, and yes, and she does. She fights him in the end. I presume I can say what it is. She fights him in the end, and she reverts to the anger that she had as a teenager.
Yeah.
But as she is about to eliminate him, she has a vision of her Sholan master, who tells her to stop. And he says her soul isn't worth it, and that so it ends up. There's also the bit where there's a narrative through it. What
Yeah.
called a subplot, I suppose, where in her travels, how she got interested in self-defense
Yes.
is through another backpacker, an Australian guy, who has
Okay.
told her, that she's the one for him, and when she's ready and he's ready, that they can let each other know and they will be together, but deal with what she has to deal with first, and he'll just carry on and have a good time. And there's a narrative of that through it as well.
Right. So, I mean, these different, particularly martial arts, you've told me about the research you've done, but
yes,
the Asian settings. Have you been to many of the places that
there's
you've
no
written?
Asian settings, not
There
as
isn't.
such.
Okay.
The originally it started in Morocco, in the prologue,
Okay.
but that's gone now. All we know now is that she has come from Morocco,
Yes.
and that her base is in Marrakesh.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's everything else takes place in Ireland.
Okay.
Now there are mentions of where she's traveled at different times.
Yes. Okay. So the 3 books with Paul Begg, you mentioned very quickly that you'd already written, there's another book that you've written in addition to this one, is that right?
So I have that one. I was working on that one and I finished it.
Yes.
So and then I worked
Yeah.
on the next case history, we'll say, because I'm calling them TLCI case histories, because the investigation agency is the Tegan Loughlin Consultative Investigations, so TLCI investigations. Nice. So I have the 4th of their case histories done now. It isn't polished. It's done, and I'm working on another standalone at the moment.
As well as The Reckoning.
Well, The Reckoning, The Reckoning is awaiting final polishing. I think at the moment now, what I need for The Reckoning is I need an outside person to look at it and tell me. I think the flow of it is good, but I've found that working with the other 3 books is that an editor looks at it and they say, why did they do that? Or what was that? So it's at that stage. I'm at 88, not quite 89,000 words.
Right.
Which is which I find it's a good for pre-editing, because that generally brings me up to around the 92,000.
Okay.
Long enough.
So I get the impression from the synopsis, or it may have changed, that there's quite a lot of backstory as well. Would you say that was correct?
There is, yes. Well, there is, yeah.
And has that been challenging to make sure that the story continues to move forward with momentum while giving us the information we need?
No, I didn't think so, because it's slotted in. Well, first of all, the first part, the backstory is, well, I suppose there's a bit of it in the beginning, but it's when she has decided that she's going to do whatever has to be done to help her friend. And the next morning, with her morning meditation, she thinks about what brought her to this place. And so that slots that in. And really, that's the biggest part of the backstory. There's a little bit about Brad, the boyfriend, her friend. But that's later on. She tells Perry about him, and so it fits into the narrative of the story, or the narrative arc, I suppose you'd call it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I mean, clearly, I'm sure you found that you have learned a lot about the craft of writing since you become a published writer, and you're probably doing fewer drafts each time because you're more in charge of it. And I think the key thing for me on this book, I think, is making sure that there's constant momentum moving forward, that you are that you have a consistent tone. That the other thing is Jerry Landers, who's a kind of big picture villain, isn't he?
Yes.
He I mean, there's not a lot of ambiguity about him in the story, is there? And I just wondered whether, we kind of know he's bad, don't we?
Oh, we do from the very beginning.
And I
Because
just wondered whether that was, did you explore the idea of, letting the light in on that, or was it important for you that he's bad from the beginning?
There wasn't time to let light in it. It has happened so fast, because from the very beginning, after the first 3 chapters and the meditation, she takes over the Perry's shop for the morning, and he comes to challenge Perry. So she meets him there, and she realizes that. So first of all, he's surprised to see her, but he also thinks that she's the little vulnerable girl that he had taken advantage of when she was a teenager. He doesn't. So I needed him to come across to having that bit of arrogance.
Okay.
And so that's his modus operandi, is arrogance, really. And there is a little bit in the when they go to visit the club, and
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the cock crows when they go to visit the club. There is another character, Guilty, Dominic Guilty. He's a big world player that makes or shows up how small-minded in a way that Jerry Landers is. I'm afraid he's a baddie all the way through. I have no clues.
Okay, no, that's fine. And in the remaining couple of minutes we've got, I'm just going to ask about going back to Poolbeg, because it feels to me like you need direction, don't you? You need something.
I do need direction, and that's my big. But I have to say, right, I think in the 3 months I've been with them are brilliant. They've even talked me down off a ledge, and I was thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah, but I mean, you've almost got 3 more books that you could deliver to them all at once, haven't you? From what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I have 2 definitely, and
yeah,
I have 3. But you see, that begs the question. Then, do I want to stay a small fish in a large pond, or do I want to, or in a medium-sized pond, or do I want to go bigger? Now they did quite well on Amazon, I have to say. The Poolbeg published on Amazon as well with the thing, and they did. They actually won the Alive Mission went very well in the beginning anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were considering the idea of going to another publisher, you need to really consolidate what you do. You need to make sure that that you are taking a kind of fan base with you, or you need to kind of sit down with Poolbeg and just say, okay, well, look, this has been great, and because what they're getting from you is they're getting somebody who can deliver a lot of books very fast, aren't they? And they might not know how prodigious your output is, but I don't, you're an asset. You should see this as a sort of business partnership. They're getting some fabulous books from you, and they are selling them, and they are sending you some royalties. So it's in everybody's interest that you're aligned. And I don't think it's I don't think it's a question of they'll just publish whatever you want to give them, and it shouldn't be. And you strike me as somebody from this conversation who you probably quite enjoy somebody who's got some firm direction, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And the thing about it is that I love the process of writing.
Yeah.
I have notebooks of ideas. That isn't an issue. But I don't, as I say, know the industry, and that's my biggest thing. So actually that's a good plan. I will try again and pin down Poolbeg. But yeah, I will. I'll keep trying.
I think, go on.
Sorry, when's the 3rd book due out, Marianne?
They had given me a date the end of July, the beginning of July
this year. Okay.
And of this year, and then they never sent for the edits. They never sent it to me until May. And when they did, they said, now there was the rewrite of it was really moving chapters more than anything else. And when I asked them to know what was the timeline for it now, I was told that it was in the queue for editing, and I'm thinking it was in the queue for it. I didn't do them last August, as per the contract.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm a bit
Because you definitely
disappointed.
need, you need to chase that and just confirm with them that the publication date's still in place, don't you?
Yeah. Well, it is gone now. I mean, it is well gone at
Oh
this
God,
stage.
we're past July, aren't we? Yeah. So
Yes.
when they're planning to publish now, they need to tell you that Simon will tell you this, but they're contracted to do it within a specific time.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't know if they are actually, because it was,
it
I
should be,
know Connor Costick reviewed the contract for me,
yeah,
and he said it was the standard contract.
under contract with them. If you can go back to Connor, or you could go to the Society of Authors to get them to check the sorry, it's East Coast Radio now. I'll talk to them later. Get them to look at the contract to tell you what that clause is, because there's a limitation on when between, I can't remember, it's when you sign, Simon, you help here, this whether it's, you know, like there's usually 18 months. Is it from when you sign the contract, or is it from when you deliver
I mean,
the manuscript?
usually there should be a long stop date from when you deliver the book, because otherwise they could accept the book and never publish it, and then you'd never. So yeah, there should be a.
But I think on the contract there's a at the discretion of the publishers in it, something like that. Because I checked it myself to see what they had agreed to as well.
So that's the type of thing Connor should pick up, so you've got a timeline in there, so they
because like the others were very much on the ball. The other two books came out exactly when they said they would. And but look I know I'm holding you up now, but it was brilliant talking to you, Simon. Thank you. And
thank you. And I think it's, I'd be really interested to know what you do next. But I think, congratulations on having 3 books under contract. That's pretty amazing.
That's really good.
It's a brilliant, it's wonderful. I tell everybody keep at it, because it's
keep
an amazing feeling.
Absolutely. Yes, Marianne, we can help you. We can figure out that. I think there's more to do, more to talk about there.
Exactly.
And we'll see if we can fix you up and get you sorted out with that. We're going to bring Anne in now. Sorry, everybody, this is a massive disconnected conversation here, because my introduction was rubbish, because I thought it was the Sunday Independent on the phone, and it wasn't. They disappeared, and I have to go back and do another one now. Anne, how are you? I'm just going to hand you. Fortunately, Simon's done this before, so I'm just going to hand you over and disappear again.
Okay, thanks. Hi, Simon.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am. I think I need to switch to decaf, but I'm doing well, thank you. I've had a lot of coffee today, so I'll just.
All right.
Calm down. So it's good to see books on your bookshelf as well. What is that? Is this your writing room, or is this a reading room?
No, this is at the moment I'm in Edinburgh. I live between Edinburgh and Mayo, with more Edinburgh at the moment. So we live in a tenement flat. So this is the sitting room, everything room, reading room, writing room, the lot. So, but we do have lots of bookcases around, yeah.
So are you in the new town, or whereabouts are you?
No. We're in a very unpretty part of Edinburgh, but we're just about 15 minutes walk from Princes Street, though, so it is very central, but not the best place to be during the festival, I have to say.
And the festival finishes next week, does it, or is it still on?
It does. It finishes next week. It's one of those weird things, because most of the schools in Edinburgh went back last week. But everybody's still in holiday mode, because the festival's got another couple of weeks to run, the various bits and pieces. So, it's kind of a weird time. And even more so, the sun is shining, which makes it even more surreal, because, those things don't all happen together in Edinburgh usually.
No, and you actually had a Monday where the festival's closed down for one day, didn't you? Because of the
Yeah, we're just back. We were only back here a couple of days, but so I believe. So everybody kept sending me messages and pictures and telling me that the place was closed down completely. So
wow.
The drama.
So thank you very much for the synopsis, and this remind me of the title. It's just cut off the top of here.
Well, the title has been through many titles, and at the moment it's The Baby They Forgot.
Yes.
But I only from various opinions, because I want to call the book The Fosterling, but apparently that sounds too much fantasy-like. The ling bit on the end leads people to think fantasy and elves and things like that, which is not a genre I read, so I wasn't aware of that. But anything I've ever written, the titles have gone backwards and forwards and changed dramatically anyway, so I figure eventually it'll all come together.
Okay, and are you also you're out there in a published form now, are you?
I am. I've 3 things out there published. The first was a travel memoir from a long time ago that's still in print and still makes a bit of money. A very small bit of money, but it's about Bangladesh, so the money goes there, which is great. And then I had, in the last couple of years, I've had a 2-book deal with Legend Press in London.
Yeah.
And they published my first novel, The Almost Truth, in April 24. And the second book, Letters from Elena, just last month, the very beginning of July last month. So I'm not unlike Marianne in some ways, because that was my 2-book deal. I'm now out of contract with Legend, and all I have to do with my next book is, show it to them, basically. And but so that's that. So I'm right. So this is now the 3rd book. I've got books 3 and 4 in mind, and this is the 3rd book of what you've got of the synopsis.
So you contractually you have to share The Baby They Forgot with the team at Legend, yeah?
Yeah, but that's all I have to do. And the staff in the last year, the staff have all changed so dramatically. They're very open to a discussion as to whether I would want to stay with them or whether I would want to move on.
Okay, I mean, one thing I would say is you should never leave somewhere without somewhere to go, because getting published it's not easy, is it? So if I were you, I wouldn't I wouldn't make a decision to leave Legend unless you had another place to go to. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
that makes sense. And this book it's got a way to go yet. It's at about 45,000 words, and I know what the rest is. I just have to sit my butt down and write it, because doing the other books and the work I do is all writing related, so it's just sitting down and doing that. So I need to finish that. And I kind of would like an agent at this stage, because I found working with a publisher and the other work I do is great, and creatively things are great. But I am not very interested in business, and I think there's probably lots of opportunities and things that I just don't see, don't do, don't follow up. Not because I'm necessarily lazy, but because it just doesn't occur to me. So in the back of my mind, I'm considering looking for an agent. I had one a long time ago for the first book. She retired, so she remains a very good friend, but she's not interested in writing anymore. And I've had a couple of meetings with agents in the past, but just couldn't imagine myself working with one, which was a great learning thing, because I think, sometimes you think, oh, agent, I need one, I must have one, and I'll take the first one that comes along, and then realizing that, it's a two-way thing. And the 2 women I did have conversations with, I just thought, I just can't imagine what this relationship would be. So that's where I'm at. I'm options open, Simon, and keeping writing basically is where I'm at just now.
Okay. What are you looking for in an agent? Because it's interesting, you got meetings, and I'm really pleased that you didn't say yes, because clearly it just was not the right fit. And I think sometimes people go, oh my God, an agent wants to sign me, and then I must say yes immediately. But it's a very important, the agent is the gatekeeper and all of that, it's very, very important.
Yeah, I suppose I'm looking for all kinds of things. I am looking for somebody who can look at the business end of things and make those kind of decisions, because, you know, and all that, and who knows that world. I don't. Even from even where I'm at now, there's still so much I do not know. And I also would like somebody who was into editing a bit. Now, I'm an editor. That's what I do. I'm an editor. I'm a creative writing tutor. They're the things I do. But self-editing only goes so far. But you find when you're an editor that people either don't think you want to be or need to be edited because you're an editor, or you just don't get a chance to talk about your work because you're editing other people's work. So it's been really, really good. I did have 2 good editors at Legend. Because I didn't know what it would be like, you know, suddenly somebody coming along and editing my work when I'm used to being the editor. And it was great because they were excellent, and it was suddenly fabulous to have somebody else telling me things or suggesting things that I could do. So they were really good. So if I was, but both of those people have now moved on from Legend, so I don't know what I think they're using freelancers, so it's the luck of the draw sometimes, I think. So an agent that's vaguely interested in editing, I would quite like that. And just a basic cheerleader, I suppose. Somebody who loves my books as much as I do, because, you know, they're not perfect by any means, but I do love them, which I think you have to do, because if you don't love them, then why would you expect anybody else to? So
yeah, absolutely.
That's, you know, that's it.
Your experience with Legend, Tori, is I mean, how have you found the kind of sales operation? Because obviously that's important.
Yeah, that's where I would want it's for those kind of reasons I'd want an agent, because I think creatively Legend are really, really good. In terms of things like marketing and promotion and payment, all of these things have trickled along, but not as well as I think they could. And I don't think it's that, you know, there's particularly a 2-tier list and I'm way down the bottom. I think it's just they're actually an independent publisher that does really well and does really great products, but I think they're probably working on a shoestring underneath it all, as are probably most places, you know. And so when one person, I think, is juggling a lot, and you know, that'll be the same in lots of places, but I think we've had lots of missed opportunities, put it that way, in terms of marketing and promotion. I've done, as Marianne said there before, you know, you think somebody else will do all this for you, and I'm well aware that I've done lots of things, but I think there's lots of things I've done and suggested that haven't been taken up, and then they've said afterwards, "Oh, we just didn't get to that in time." You know, so I think, you know, things like that. It's just, and I'm maybe not the best person at pushing all of that forward, because I feel as if I don't know enough. I'm happy enough doing the writing and speaking out for myself there and the editing, but in terms of all the rest of it, I don't think, you know, I feel that's where I feel the imposter. I feel I don't know enough, so I don't know how far I should be pushing, what I should be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really interesting question. And I remember when I worked for an American company, I said to my boss at one point, you know, God, do you ever feel like you know, like you're an imposter syndrome? And she just looked at me and she said, I've never heard of that. I don't know what it is, which was kind of said a lot about the company I was working for, because they never felt they were imposters in anything. And I think you probably, you know, you need to own this. You know, you've done amazingly well. I mean, you know, you're helping other writers, but you are now also a published author. I don't think you should feel like there's no imposter syndrome at all. You know, you are where you know, where your talent, skill, and dedication has taken you. So, you know, you, again, you know, continue to celebrate that. That is a very good thing. And remember that agents and publishers don't exist without people like you writing great books. So, you know, that is a good thing. And it's not really about you asking awkward questions. Again, you're asking for vital information, aren't you? And I think all too often people feel, in our kind of British way, slightly of, you know, I don't want to bother you and I just, maybe this is from having worked for an American company, I've kind of lost my fear on that front now, because I think sometimes asking questions, you know, as they say, it's a squeaky wheel that gets the oil, isn't it? Sometimes, and I'm sure,
yeah,
you know,
and I think, and I don't. It's not so much. I think I've got better at that, and as I said, the writing thing, the creative side of it, I've no problem with. It's more that I feel I don't know the questions to ask. If I knew the questions to ask and the things I wanted to know and the things I should be asking, I'd have no worries about asking them. I mean, I have had an ongoing, there was obviously my advance was split up into different amounts, and I had great difficulty getting one of the payments, which I did get, to be fair, but you know, I had to be absolutely bloody minded and dogged, and I was all very jolly, and we had very jolly conversations backwards and forwards, but you know, it would have been all too easy just to give up on things. So I've no problem advocating when I know where I'm at. It's just not knowing. I feel as if I don't know the questions I should be asking to kind of move things on. So maybe there aren't any missed opportunities, but I feel they are, but I don't know where they might be or who to ask, and you know what I should be asking, basically.
Okay, I mean, I think, you know, this is a, you know, I was sitting here with the baby they forgot, and I was going to ask you various things about it, but actually, let's continue to focus on what concerns you right now. Is what are the questions to ask? Well, I mean, I'll ask you a few questions. They have worldwide rights in all languages in the books that you've signed up with them, do they?
They do, yes.
Okay, so one of the questions I would ask is, because I'm guessing that right now they haven't sold the book to be translated in other territories. Is that right?
No, no. As far as I know, no, they haven't.
So I think you could legitimately ask them, you know, what response have you had to my books from other countries?
Okay.
You know, that may be, you know, may be interesting, may not be, but it would certainly mean that they would have to tell you, you know, what they've been doing with the book, because otherwise you assume it's been offered to other publishers in Germany or whatever. Might well be, but you know, it's good to ask the question.
Right, yeah, no, and I've not, and I haven't asked that. I mean, it's you know, it's out there in America and Canada and is okay. And thanks to Chloe Carey, mostly, who's on this call, it's flying through libraries in Nova Scotia. So you know, that's that, and which is great to see, as a few other Incas as books are, Ruth's and Lucy's. But yes, beyond those countries, it's in Australia too, but beyond, yes, translation, I've no idea, and I haven't thought to ask. You're right, so I will.
Okay, so when you say it's out there in America, you mean it's available, or it's available as a download, or in physical print, or print on demand, or can I go into a bookshop in New York and buy it? Can you
well, you can theoretically. People have been known to go into a bookshop and buy it, but I think it's, you know, I can't imagine there's millions of them on the shelves. It's probably more go into Barnes and Noble and order it, probably. But you can, you know, there are I get pictures from various people sending me a copy of the book they've bought in a bookshop.
Oh wow, that's great, isn't it? Really good. So I'm looking on their website at the rights contacts and looking at translation rights and all of that, and they, you know, I see they have the same agent that I use in Greece. You know, they've got some good people working for them. They've got the same people in Korea. So, you know, it's not just Tom Chalmers doing everything from London. So, you know, they have lots of people internationally. I mean, I have found, and this is a general point, I think, that building relationships, publishing is all about relationships. There are a lot of books, you know, it's much more about, you know, if you can build relationships. So, you know, I think it would be legitimate for you to say to Tom, is there any, you know, hello, is there anything I can do as an author to, you know, would you like me to write to the different agents internationally? Would that be useful? You know, can I, you know, it's that kind of thing. Anything that takes you from the page to being something in their line of vision will be a useful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I will. It's yes, and that even that is, you know, just some things I haven't done. And you're right, because the first book was set across Ireland, Scotland, and Bangladesh, and Penguin India were interested in it, but I haven't followed that up because, you know, I assumed somebody else was dealing with that. And also the second book is set in Cyprus, so you'd assume there may be interest in other places about that. So I
When
will
you
follow this up.
sorry to when you say Penguin India were interested, what happened?
Distributing it across India and into Bangladesh.
But I mean, you shouldn't have to be following that up. You're not, you know, they're, you know, looking at this, they use India, they use Penguin Random House India to do their distribution. So I don't know.
But yeah, and it's things like that. Do you know what I mean? Things like that that pop up and then either just don't seem to go anywhere, or if I have asked, it's just I get, you know, it's back to, well, it's slow. You know, things take a while.
Yeah.
So it's just a few lack of answers.
I mean, I think that there are key, you know, any question you get asked, which is to do with the writing, then, you know, someone wants to interview you, whatever, you know, you're clearly the person. You've got a publicist, so you've got Lucy Chamberlain, you know, you're the person. But any questions that come in about, you know, can I distribute the book in North Africa, or, you know, blah blah, just forward that to Tom and just say, this came to me, let me know if I can be useful, but please send it on. And then just assume that that's happened, because I think, you know, in India, your book is distributed by Penguin Random House. So if somebody else wants to distribute it, the answer is no. They've already got distribution out. So I think you're dealing with a small press, but Tom has a, you know, he kind of punches above his weight, doesn't he? He's a, you know, he's very good at getting PR. He does, you know, he does all that kind of thing. So I think you need to be reassured that it's a robust organization and he's got good people working for him. You know, he really has. And focus on the thing that only you can do, which is the books. But clearly the strategy moving forward is, you know, I think you could legitimately say to Tom, you know, how's it doing? Are my books selling at the level you hoped? What can we do? You know, what could make things different? You know, and those are positive, not why isn't it in WH Smith? It's more like how can we work together to make the books even more successful? And I think that is a, you know, that's a good way of doing it. It's a partnership, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think probably not my mistake, but what I've done is done what I thought I should do and direct all my questions to Lucy and to Olivia, who are in marketing and promotion. But both of them have left in the last couple of months. One's gone off to be a primary school teacher, and one has gone off to another publisher somewhere. But I do have a bit of a relationship with Tom, because I figured, you know, when I wasn't getting answers to questions, then especially in accounts, then Tom was the one to go to, and he is very approachable and he does reply. So I think in lieu of knowing who else to go to and who's replacing Lucy, etc., then maybe just go straight to him, and, you know, because he's somebody I've been absolutely honest with, and when they haven't paid me on time, I really have been, well, come on, Tom, why are you not paying me? Am I not important enough, or are you in as dire financial straits as I am? And it's a joke, but it's not a joke. And he responds, and, you know, so we've got some kind of relationship where I can probably at this stage try and push things, given that I will have a new book, all the staff have changed, you know, so it's a good point at which to regroup and say, where are we? What's happening here?
Yeah. I mean, I would also say that another really good thing about having an agent would be that, you know, right now you're signing one piece of paper and you are granting all of the rights maybe including TV and film. I don't know, to Legend.
Yeah, I can't remember now. I'd have to go back and look at the contract, which was checked by the Society of Authors. So, and a few changes made. So, but I can't remember now.
But I mean, right, I'm going to have to get out of this room. But right now, I would say that they haven't sold the book, and they haven't sold the book in translation anywhere. So if you did another book deal with them, maybe you shouldn't be giving them as many rights.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna. Vanessa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back now.
I'm gonna have to just mute for a moment because I've got to give up the room. But I'll come back on in a minute. Hold on.
Cool. Yeah, and I think I would hesitate to be doing another deal with them if they're not paying you.
They're paying, but I feel as if I shouldn't have to keep reminding them they need to pay me, you know.
Yeah, so I think this is probably a really good time to look for an agent, and you know, you've got a good publishing career pedigree with them, and obviously books are sold. And if you've got a new good idea, I like that title about, what was the one about the baby?
It's The Baby They Forgot.
Yeah, I really like that. Is that under contract, or is that that's the new book, is it?
No, that's the new book. I've got two new. This one is about 50,000 words in, and then I've got another one that I started beyond that. So I've got two new books so that I know where they're going and just need to finish writing them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously I work with loads of agents as well. So do, you know, talk to me about what you've got, and I can think of people who would be interested in those. So yeah, I would hesitate to sign again with them just right now. I would wait until they, you know, you're completely happy with rights and all that type of thing, and royalties are being paid and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
If you have problems with, do ping the Society of Authors just to be on their list.
Yes, and I have. They've been there, and they are very good, I have to say, and they reply really quickly and you know, take everything on board. So they've been great, and they gave me all kinds of options.
Good. On the payment issue, it's just good for them to know that there's somebody else out there who maybe has an issue. But
yes,
I mean, absolutely, there's no question that he should be replacing your publicist or telling you where you are. It might be that because the 3 books have come out, that they're sort of taking you off the not off the sort of live list, but do you know what I mean, that they've done it,
and they would, because I've not you know, we've had no discussion about the next one isn't ready yet. I mean, it's ready in my head, and it's not under contract, and I can do what I like with it, other than, as I said to Simon, just show it to them. So there's nothing I have to do right now other than, I think, as Marianne said, you know, not leave it till the last minute. I would like to, but of course it's difficult because in my head I think, well, you know, I've got 2 books and I've got another one nearly done. Surely agents would be, you know, falling over me. They'd love to see it now, and of course I'm not finished, so I don't have a book. I don't have a current book that's finished. So
get finished, and then when you know what the book is and you're completely happy with it, it's really polished, then it's like you're going out again nearly as a debut.
Starting, and that's it. And I've no problem starting again in the whole challenge again, you know, which because I think I've learned a lot.
But you're not really starting again, are you? You must have some good assets now as well in terms of reviews and that kind of thing.
Quotes,
hopefully.
Like that, you know, where people have read the book and you've got the quotes, they should put those onto a page for you, Waterstones or wherever, Amazon, those quotes will show, and they're all things that you can take forward so that you can use then as assets for the new books. It's interesting that you're both in the same sort of boat, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, it's an interesting session because I think, you know, it's not all champagne and flowers, is it, being published? You know, you've got to keep thinking about the business side as well.
I think, and it's interesting how many people have, you know, wanted to talk to me about the second tricky book, and I don't have a second tricky book because both books were written, but I probably have a third tricky book now. So, you know, it doesn't matter, and again, it's not the writing of the book that's tricky. It is where to go next and what to do and how to keep some kind of momentum, but not jump into something because it's easy or because it's there, and you know, that ultimately might be a mistake. So so it's all good. It's interesting anyway. It's frustrating sometimes, but always interesting.
Brilliant.
It's very important, I think, to learn about the business, and that's key, because at least you're going in with that little bit of extra information, because you're both in the same situation. You both have got previous publications, moving forwards with new ones. One of the things people talk about is actually staying published can be more difficult than getting published. So it's, you know, it's finding that opportunity to open the doors or whatever, start looking for an agent and get a bit of help on board, I think. So that was really interesting. Really
it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really fun. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, thank you, Simon. That's great.
Okay, pleasure.
It's great
nice
to talk
to see
about it.
Yeah, and it might be that in a few months' time that you want to come back and do this again with both of you, see where you get to.
Yeah,
and,
I'd love that.
You know, because Simon can, you know, he perhaps, I don't know, look at contract, whatever. Just to, if you've got Society of Authors, you don't need him to be it, but it just, you know, can help with that.
Totally, love to do that.
End of things. So that's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you very much for everything.
Pleasure. Lovely to talk to you both.
Lovely to see you both.
Okay.
And, yeah, you need to go, do you? I can hear it.
I do, and you're waiting for the newspaper.
Yeah, they were just ringing again. It's grand. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So listen,
nice
I'll talk. You go. I'll talk to you.
Bye.
Yeah. Yes, so that was great. Lovely. Sorry, we're all a bit disconnected here. So we will, and I think a lot of people couldn't find the your synopsises, but in fact, actually, you didn't end up talking about those anyway, so it's not the end of the world. But we need to obviously fix that in the group because the things maybe are wandering. It was in Facebook. I think they were all connected together, weren't they? This is probably the first time we've done one here in Mighty Networks. So brilliant, guys. Lovely to see you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Vanessa.
And it was interesting listening to another story.
Yeah, and similar
two different, but at the same time.
Yeah,
we must chat, Marianne. We must set up a support group of
just to have a chat.
The writers heading to the next stage.
Yeah,
I think we have it in Writers Inc. really, which is brilliant.
Yeah, but with your fourth book, Marianne, because it's the same series, you can't take that to a different publisher. Another publisher's not going to publish.
Yes, I understand that.
So I think it would be worth, if you can get a date out of Poolbeg and then say to them that you've got a fourth book, that then if you can get them to publish it, then it'll be great, and then it'll be a sealed job done.
Yes.
Because it's either that, I think possibly you're self-publishing it, that'd be the alternative. And
I was looking at that as well, but it sounds so much work.
Yeah, it is. And if you wanted to focus on the writing and not on any of the other stuff, then I think it's definitely if you can manage to get them to take it, it would be great.
Yes.
But then take stock and see where you are. And I'm trying to think where you can get the figures from. I can get some of the figures from Nielsen, but you do both need to ask, you know, from your publishers what the sales have been and where you are. And in theory, you'll get royalty statements and it'll have that information will be on them.
It's very complicated though.
They are complicated, yes. I might get Simon to take us through a royalty statement one of the days. But it should give you an idea of the numbers that have been sold. So at least you've got some idea.
Yes.
But yeah, you do need day off. I don't understand royalty statements half the time. I just get Simon to have a look at them and then he tells me what the answer is at the end.
Yeah.
So because it's
I can't imagine I've even earned out my advances yet, so I must check that out and see.
You need to find out like where are you? Is that and you're both registered for PLR, aren't you? And, and with ALCS as well. Yeah, because that's always important to get money from the libraries as well. So all good. So yes, interesting.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Keep going. That's the most important thing.
And
yeah, we'll finish up there. And thanks everybody for attending. And we will put this video into the group so that everybody can watch it back and see if we can find the documents to go with them. So yeah, that's great. Lovely. Listen, great chat. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much
for jumping in, Anne. You're very good.
Right. Okay, no problem. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.